Hi scrappy friends, I have a new layout for you today and I'm going to be using my October hip kit. I think this is pretty much the last layout that I'm going to get done with this kit. I'm just barely down to scraps. But right now I am putting on some pearlized white, so it's almost translucent except for a little hint of like a shimmer. And that's pretty much what I wanted. I wanted to tone down that background just a smidge bit, and I'm gonna add a little bit of this re-inker, and this is in Cracked Pistachio. And I just added a little bit of water to water it down. You can barely see it, but that mint will look really, well, it's like a minty color. Will look really good with the other colors in this kit. And before I had the kit or the camera rolling, I also stamped some X's. They almost look like plus marks on the background. So you can see I have about 3 spots where I did that. And I also did that on the frame that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to trim this down because I'm thinking I'm going to add this on the white background, and I'm not really sure exactly at this point what I'm doing, but you'll see this kind of go in a little bit of a different direction than maybe I would have thought. Oh yeah, so here I'm going. Okay, so when I started cutting that up, I got thinking about some things that I've done in the past that looked really cool. And let's see, I want to say it was over a year ago. So maybe last summer, I seen Gretchen do this, and she's stamping Rooster, and she took some pieces of paper and cut them and then put them back on her layout. And I just love the way that that looked with the texture. And so I'm gonna try that technique, and I've done this a few times with a small section on my layout, but I'm actually gonna put pretty much this whole paper back with a little bit of space in between each one, like almost so much that you can't tell that it was taken apart, except for that there's the texture from each of the pieces. Now there is 2 strips of the Wonder vellum on that background, that Dear Lizzie background paper. Is really hard to see, except for that it's curled up a little. And each of these I am inking with the re-inker just because I really want that texture to show, and I didn't want it to have that the core of this paper to show. I really wanted to have some really nice color, and it's gonna add a little bit of depth, and I didn't add so much that it is overwhelming, but just a little bit. And so I'm putting them back in. I am cut a couple of them I had to cut down, and I was getting really irritated because my trimmer apparently needed a new blade, and I didn't realize it until I started doing this. And some of it could have been the fact that I had the media on it, and I didn't add any gesso when I put that paint down. But it was just enough that there was one spot where I ripped the paper and I was getting really irritated. And I ended up just having to cut it, which I don't like to do because it doesn't come out straight. And the thing that I like about this technique is that if you do them straight with your trimmer, it almost, like I said, it almost looks like it's one piece, but you get this texture from the different pieces because you put them back together, and it just looks really cool. I mean, this would look even cooler if I had could stitch on here, but I don't have, I don't have a sewing machine, and I would probably break my sewing machine, knowing me, if I had one and I try to use paper on it. So right now you're seeing me hesitate because I cut it and I'm like, it doesn't match up, because most of the other pieces pretty much look like they fit, and this one was like really off, and I'm like, what did I do? And then I remembered, oh yeah, I cut it. So there's, you just see me being a doofhead and, you know, making a silly mistake. But anyway, so I put it back and there's that edge, but I really love the way that that looks. It just looks really awesome. And a couple of the pieces of the vellum I had to put the glossy accents just because it was kind of pulling up. But I really even like how that curled up from the paint. And, so now I'm going to work on the layers for my photo, and this photo is a really old photo. It's not, I mean, I'm surprised it's as in good of a quality shape as it is because I've had it for a long time, but it's a photo from when I was a kid. So it's me and my brother and Cinderella's pumpkin. And I don't know what it was. I was just looking through my photos and just every once in a while I'll see an older photo and I just feel like I want to scrap it. So I was like, I should scrap that. And the orange is perfect with this kit because of the orange in the papers. So I'm just kind of looking for layers, and I really like the way that that looks with the hello sticking out, even though hello is so generic and sometimes I hate to use all that generic stuff. But you know, here's the thing is you get this stuff in your kits and you want to use it. You don't want to waste it. I mean, what are we going to do sitting around with a whole bunch of cards that say hello or a whole bunch of embellishments that say hello or, you know, whatever on it. So, I mean, as much as it's so generic and it, you know, might not mean that much, it is something that, you know, that gold foil is just looks so gorgeous on that card. So, I mean, I guess in some ways it's not like that big of a deal to use it. I mean, you might as well use it, right? I mean, you have it and it looks pretty. And I'm gonna use that ruler and cut that up. And I just tried to make my layers really tight on this one. I didn't want them to stick out too much. I really actually feel like I haven't layered that much and I kind of feel out of practice. I feel like I need to keep doing it so that I've been trying to go simple. And I'm going to put these on pop dots just so that because with all the texture on that background, it really needs to be lifted up so that it doesn't sit flat on, and because it's not going to sit flat on anyway. So it's going to stick better. And with the paint on there, it's not gonna, the tape doesn't stick as well, I don't think. But I mean, that's my preference. So I'm looking through some of my own stuff too, because I have quite a bit of the Simple Stories I Am collection still. It's one of the ones that I haven't used. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I think I got a double pack of, like I bought a pack of the die cuts and I got a pack in a kit once or something, but the colors really match quite well with this kit. So, and since I'm down to the ends of what I have left, and I just got the main kit, I didn't get the add-on, and I'm probably, at least, I know next month I'm just getting the regular kit. Probably not till the new year will I think about maybe getting some add-ons. But, plus, I don't know, as much as I would love the add-ons, I don't know, you know, I need to be able to use them, and I like to use new stuff too. I don't know. I just haven't decided. But I really like the feel of the I Am with my kit. And I think this is the nice thing about kits is that if you just get the main kit, you can add your own stuff. And some of those circle pieces that you see with those open hearts, those hearts are actually from a stamp that I got from a store that is here in Hawaii. It's an online shop, but they had Amy Tan come in August, and I mean, if you watch my channel, you know, and I got her stamp set, and so I stamped some of those on some of the paper, and I just used a punch. I thought that that would be a good way to use some of these smaller bits of paper without just having to stamp on my layout. And I wasn't sure how it would stamp anyway, because with the paint and everything, at least if you do it on on the side and it doesn't look that good, you can always. And I used a couple of different dyes. wasn't sure what to do with those little potty people, and this is a perfect layout. So I'm just kind of playing around and see where I think I want things. And those are the chipboard pieces from the I Am. Like I said, I just really like the way that the colors of that matched with this kit. They just worked really, really well. I really liked how it turned out. And I kind of put that one on Pop Dots a little bit just because of the way that I had it on the books. So, not the whole thing, just part of it. And I'm just trying to figure out, you know, where I want. I figured that since I had the stamping in those certain areas, that would be a good place to start for embellishment clusters. And I really like the 3, you know, that rule of thirds and the, you know, the triangle. And I mean, really it does make your layout look a whole lot better if it has that, you know, design. I mean, it doesn't always have to, but I'm going to use that tab. And I play around with that one heart because I'm not exactly sure where I want it. I will end up deciding to put it somewhere. Silly me, not really sure. And that together is also from a stamp. So I stamped on the paper and cut that out. And I think it was a stamp from Pink Fresh Studios. I'm not sure if it is Kelly Perky who designed the stamps for them or if it was Jessie who did it. So, one of the two. They're really nice. Both of those stamp sets that they both did turned out really nice for. I think the Memories was from Jessie. So Jessie Christopher. So yeah. I know her handwriting on some of those were really, really cute. So I'm going to glue those down. And I really, as much as I did some stuff, I tried to keep it really simple because I did some of that stuff on the background and, you know, I just added a few little things. I will color, I'm not sure if I colored that yet, but I end up, so I used a gold American Crafts marker and then I used glossy accents on it, and so now it looks really shiny with a little hint of gold. It looks really nice. That turned out really nice. It took a while though for it not to slide around because I put it on that gold heart and it just kept slipping. I do use a paintbrush and then I cleaned the paintbrush up right away just so that I could get it, because it wasn't all that like flat and I wanted it to be pretty flat. So I had to be careful not to touch it. And I do use some of the cut aparts from the kit this month. I'm just about done. I think all I do, and I don't show this, is that I added sequins after. I was looking at it later and I just thought it needed something. And so, oh yeah, I'm going to do the title too. Can't forget that. Because it took me a while to figure out what letters I wanted to use. I mean, I could have used the gold ones that were in the kit, but I wanted to use something smaller just because I wanted to like give myself space for journaling if I end up wanting to journal on the layout. I haven't actually, usually I'm really good about journaling right away so I don't forget to add my journaling. But this one I didn't. So I will. I think I just haven't decided if I want to do it on the front or if I want to like just flip it over and do it. I mean, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to tell except for that it's me and my brother at like, I think I want to say it was a place called Great Escape, which is up in upstate New York, that a guy who's friends with Walt Disney did a little like amusement park thing up there. So it's really fun. So they have some Disney inspired things. And then I add some black Heidi's Shine. And some of those tiles from Dear Lizzie, I did have to use my gel pen on because I didn't have enough ease. But thankfully it dried really quick, easy, and I don't even hardly think you can tell. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun making it. It was really fun. And it was fun to do an old picture of me and see me when I was a kid. Have a great day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!